Hi, so I'm Van Furniss, and I'm from a company called Wind Analytics, and we study property anywhere in the world and tell you two things. Is this property suitable for a wind turbine? And then if so, where should it go? How high? Which model? We're not a turbine company, so we can work with all of the manufacturers out there. And we then do a prediction, 20-year, because that's about how long turbines last, of how much wind is going to be on the site, and therefore we can do an economic analysis. So that's ROI, that's kilowatt hours per year in total, that's money per year in total saved or generated for the person who puts up the turbine. And of course, in that, one of the most important numbers everyone wants to know: how long is this thing going to take to pay for itself? So that's included as well with the government, local, state, federal government rebates and tax incentives, all baked into one report that takes about a week and a half. Like most people, I knew a guy who knew a guy. So the CEO of the company is a friend of mine, and I've known him for about 10 years, and we've always stayed in touch. And when I got out of business school, I called him, and he said, "Here's what I'm doing, and I think you need to join me." So GlobalCon, there's quite a few ESCOs and energy consultants and energy managements, and so we work quite a bit with those types of companies, engineers, architects, and so on. We allow them to offer wind analysis to their clients without having to add personnel. Basically, they don't have to hire a wind guy, they don't have to build a wind software into their own software. We can do the analysis for them, either as a third party, an outside contractor, or we can do it white labeled with their logo on it. So clients of ours can advise clients of theirs about wind for very little of both time and money. It takes us about a week and a half to do a site study, and we return the economic analysis to the people who've ordered it, and allows them to package it in their own offering of a complete energy solution. There are a lot of people trying to get in the wind industry, and the wind industry is really, there's a big difference between the wind farm, or what we would call utility scale, and distributed generation, which is, I would term, a sub-utility, or in the real world, a farmer or a small manufacturing company or a small office building that has land and would like to both add green to their portfolio, but also do it in an economic sense. And we really only focus on the economics.
Right.
If it doesn't work economically, then all the greenness won't save you. That's a good question, and also we've found that our report, buying one of our reports, is vastly cheaper, of course, than putting up a turbine and finding out that it doesn't work right.
Yeah.
So we look at all sizes of turbines, from the small ones all the way up to several $1 million, several megawatt units. We have found that wind is not right for everyone. Wind is more efficient than solar. What I mean by that is dollars per kilowatt hour generated, but it's only more efficient than solar or other competition if there's wind. So that's what we tell you. Is there wind, and how good is it, and how good are the economics? I think that as often as I prevent a bad project, which is just good to do, and that also, of course, is bad not only for the client if they were to go ahead with a bad project, but it's also bad for wind in general. It's bad for the wind industry to have projects that don't work economically or physically, meaning they're sitting there not spinning. That looks bad for all of us. But the more rewarding part is to have good projects go forth, generate clean power for either use on the site or to sell back to the grid, and to have these things, which I think are quite good looking, popping up all over the place.